Hi guys, and welcome back to Chengi's World. Guys, I know I haven't done a strawberry letter in forever, but that's not because I've not been receiving letters from you guys. It's because I have sort of done quite a few videos for some of the letters that are coming, and sometimes instead of me reading it out and repeating myself because I've done a video or two about it, I will just respond to you directly and direct you to the videos that I think will help you and sort of do it that way. But now and again there comes a letter that is particularly unique in that it might be an extreme situation like the one that I'm going to read for you. However, it still addresses some of the things that the issues, the causes to why we find ourselves in some of these sort of situations. So today's video, I have to apologize in advance because the letter is quite long and I'm going to try and summarize. But I really want you to hear the voice of this lady, and for you guys to understand that sometimes when I make videos, I am not, and sometimes I feel like I'm ranting or I'm mad at someone. It's not always because of the situation particularly happening with me. Sometimes it is simply that I get a message like this and my heart breaks and I'm angry and I am moved and I am unhappy. I'm tired of hearing this much suffering in the world caused by sometimes just a simple lack of wisdom and sometimes just people manipulating other people. So if you do have a strawberry letter you'd like to send me, feel free to send it to my email at chengisworld@gmail.com. So it's simple enough, chengisworld@gmail.com. So I'm going to call this lady Maggie because she's asked me not to use her name, but she's happy for me to use the letter. So it reads, and before I go any further, don't forget to subscribe if you're new to this channel. Welcome. Don't forget to press the subscribe button and the bell just so that I know it's for real, so that you can get updated every single time I have one of these or something exciting on this channel, because there's always something going down. So so I'm going to read this for you, and if you guys are coming back for the first time, I know you missed the strawberry letters. My friends keep saying, where are the strawberry letters? So here's one for you. I'm going to look away for a bit, so forgive me, guys. Hi, Chengi. I'm here because I need your powerful words. I need your help. Bless her. I don't know how to start. My heart is broken. Well, here I go. I came to the USA 2 years ago. I was making a kind of internship for 3 months. So English is not a first language here, so she's done a great job. In the second month, I dated a man for some time. He was amazing. He treated me like no one ever. Every time I was with him was magic, but I guess we weren't officially in a relationship because I told him I had to go back to my country, Peru. I wanted to make it clear with him because he was. He told me that he had a daughter and that was okay with me since the mom of his daughter was in another relationship. Then I had to go back to my country because my visa expired. In all these 2 years being in Peru, I missed him so much. We were still in contact, talking like if we were a couple and thinking what we would do if I was in the USA. Some months we talked, some months we didn't. On December 2016, he told me that he received an inheritance, so he was able to come to Peru to see me for 2 weeks. And he told me that he was coming for me and that the country was just a plus. We were planning what to do, which places to go. He bought his plane ticket, but the consulate denied him a passport the last week because he had a debt. And so I was sad, and then we stopped talking. He said that it was because he was very busy, but I was always in his mind. Anyways, I decided to go back to the USA by taking another internship. When I received the visa for 3 months, I told him I was going, and he was so happy and promised me a lot of things to do here, having a proper day. The first day I'm here, going camping, snowboarding, sleeping together, and so on. I arrived on December 2017 to see him 3 times. Saw him 3 times, and he was still treating me right, respecting that I was still a virgin. But one day we were about to have sex, but he stopped because he said he didn't want to rush. Then we couldn't see us. We couldn't see us again because of Christmas. We both were busy at work. In January 1st of this year, I wrote to him to wish him a great new year. He didn't reply. And I waited a week to message him if everything was all right. And he said by message, Hi Maggie, everything is good. I need to start with an apology. I haven't been fair to you the past few weeks, and I'm very, very sorry. It pains me to tell you this. A very special person that I dated when I was younger has come back into my life, and I can't pass up the second chance with her. I'm very, very sorry. I didn't tell you sooner, Maggie. I feel like a jerk. Everything I told you was not a lie. I do care for you very much, and I do cherish the fun times we had. You will always have a piece of my heart. I'm truly sorry. I would still enjoy your friendship if you would let me. If not, I understand. I'm sorry. Chengi, now I don't even know how to answer him. I want to disappear. The only reason I'm here was him. Now, it doesn't make sense. All I've invested in this internship. I can't even go back to my country because I don't have the money yet. I feel so stupid. Feel like everything was in vain. I can't stop crying. I want to see him, but I don't want him to see me crying. I am so weak, and I don't like how I feel right now. I don't even have my family to support me. Now you know why I go all kind of crazy when I'm doing videos, because these are the situations that we find ourselves in, ladies. And I just wanted to say to Maggie that she is not a mug. Maggie is not a mug. Now hands up and put in the comment section anybody who has allowed a relationship to bring out to make bad decisions. Who's mad bad decisions? Just put amen in the comment section. Just type amen in the comment section if you have ever made a bad decision because you felt that you were in love with somebody and they sort of took you on a spin. Now, this is a really, truly sad story for me because I really, I have to go by the tone and what she's saying to me. I don't have a 3D view of the situation. Only God has that. But from what I am reading here, it seems as though this was a decent guy. Because the truth of the matter is, if he was the kind of jerks that some of us have met, put amen in the comment section. He would have just left you to figure it out. He could have just ignored you and abandoned you. Put amen if this has ever happened. Put amen. Yes, I know too well about this story. It happens a lot, and it's something that I'm acquainted with, where somebody promises you something. So we've all been a mug. We've all been sent on a wild goose chase for love. And you know what? I've always said that you will never regret. Just bear with me. I just need to shift my camera a bit. Always said that, look, the things we do to achieve the goal that we want, or even for love, or because we're infatuated with somebody, the things we do will carry less regret than the things that we don't do. So to bravely go in pursuit of what you want and what you feel will make you happy might come at a cost, but I feel that the cost of not actually doing it is worse. So I've always been the sort of person who, rightly or wrongly, would rather take a bold step towards where I'm going and get hurt along the way. But sometimes it's paid off, and it's paid off big, right? So I would rather take the risk of doing something than the risk of never doing something and being old and thinking, what if I had done that? How would it have changed my life? Well, if you've done it and it didn't work, then you know it didn't change your life, and then you can try something else. So that's what you were trying to do here. So you're not stupid. You are brave, and you are adventurous, and you believe in yourself, and you believe in the things that make you happy, and you are prepared to do what it takes to pursue your happiness. And so few people are prepared to do that. So do not feel stupid. You just found yourself in a situation that so many of us find ourselves in. And I've done videos about this, as women, when we give too much too soon. And what you really had here was a holiday romance that captivated your imagination with a guy from a different place. And I really believe that at the time he was available, but he had already knew that you were not going to be around long enough for anything to be had. So you had this magic because it was not incumbent with or laden or heavy burdened with expectation of you know, are we going to get married? Is there going to be something serious? That question was not actually on the table. You may have spoken about it. You may have had, you know, a kind of romantic conversation around it, but it really wasn't a conversation up for grabs. So you were able to have that magic that you described. But I knew really, as I was reading down your letter, I knew that, you know, from 2005, 2006, some months you spoke and sometimes you didn't speak. That I know would not have been your choice as a woman. I know that you would have wanted to remain connected to him throughout that whole time. And for those of you who are in long distance relationships or any kind of relationships that are unusual, communication is the only tool. Consistent communication is the only sign that that man is still very much in a relationship with you. I always say to women, guys, men vote with their actions. Men speak with their actions. Their words and their actions need to be aligned for that man to be a man of integrity. But when all else fails, his actions just don't lie, because they're being fired by what is true and subconscious in his mind. So even if he wanted to lie, even if his words are sugary sweet, if he's not feeling you, if he's not walking in integrity, if his intentions are wrong, his actions will naturally betray him. He doesn't even realize that his actions are betraying him. But if you watch a man's actions, they will tell you all that there is. And the fact that you were on and off, 1 month you speak, one, tells you that he was not thinking of you in terms of a relationship. You were a fantasy. You were a good memory. You were somebody that he might like to do it again with, but you were not somebody he was consistently with. Furthermore, in the time that you were apart, it is very naive. And I know, because I was a virgin before I got married, and I live a celibate lifestyle, and I've always tried to maintain a degree. I went off a bender for a season, but I have always maintained a degree of sexual discipline and sexual purity. And what happens to people like you, or celibate people who are who maintain a certain level of sexual discipline, is that we don't understand those who don't have that control. We see the world from our perspective. So you were reflecting on him, thinking we're just in love and he's going to come and see me, but clearly he was sleeping with somebody else. Clearly he was dealing with somebody else within those 2 years. Now, when you said to me that he tried to come and see you and something happened in his visa, that for me was the biggest red light. You already had a few red lights going there. Women, we always have red lights going on and off. Amber, red, small things, inconsistent communication, falling off the grid, hot and cold. They're all amber, red lights. But they're easy to overlook because life happens, people get busy, and we can sort of go down that road a little bit. But in reality, what is really happening is you ignored a red light. There was a blinking red light there. And when he said he had an inheritance, but because of a debt, he couldn't come. That for me should have been your biggest red light. And I actually believe that it was your red light. And that is why, instead of accepting the signal, and this is the thing that we do as women, we refuse to accept what we're seeing. We refuse to see the red light because we want it so badly. We don't want to let go of the dream. So when the red light is flashing and flashing and flashing in front of our faces, we just say, no, it's amber, no, it's amber, no, it's amber. You knew that him not coming to Peru, you knew in your heart of heart, if you're going to be honest with yourself, that this was a red light. But what you did is, instead of accepting the red light and holding yourself and finding emotional control, which is something that I try and teach on this channel, that, you know, and entering into your wisdom, what you did is you chased him. You could see him running, so you chased him. You could see him going, because what he was hoping to do was cut it off completely. This man has been trying to tell you through his actions that he is fond of you, that he likes you, you've had a good time, but you're not his long-term plan. He was trying to tell you by not being consistent in his communication. He was trying to tell you by basically saying, look, I will come. But then in that moment, he's obviously, like I say, is a good guy, because he didn't, when you got to a point where you were ready to have sex, he didn't go for it because he didn't want to rob you of something special. He obviously sees you as somebody special. So I really believe him when he says that you will always have a piece of his heart. I really believe that he will always see you as somebody special, because he could have been a jerk and just slept with you and had like a notch on his belt, I've had a virgin. because there's some jerks that just like that, and he had you in the very place where he was going to do that. But something in his conscience was like, I don't want to be that guy who played this girl for that, but I'm not sure if I want to. And I've said this before on this channel, that even I've been rejected just for having a pure of heart. I've had a guy say, look, I can't, because you're pure of heart, and I wish you were a whore, I wish you were a dirty slapper whore, but you're not, you're too nice. So some guys, even if they're players, they have standards as to they won't go so far. And this guy, I think, was genuinely just going with the flow of a romantic relationship. You were obviously more into him than he was into you. And so when he gave you the sign that he's not coming, I don't know, anybody working immigration put a comment in there, but I'm yet to find that, I'm yet to come into a situation where somebody doesn't get a passport because they're in debt, or a visa because they're in debt in their country. I don't know. And what didn't make sense to me is he'd come into an inheritance. So even if they had to look at his finances, they would have realized that, yeah, he might still be in debt, but he has these finances. And the truth is, if he wanted to come, he would have moved heaven and earth to do so. But what he had was cold feet. He was going to travel, whatever you guys were talking about, you were inspiring his imagination, and he was going to travel, he was going to do the deed, and probably come back, forget about you. But what happened was he got another crisis, a crisis of conscience, and he decided not to do it. And I think when I read this, I can see the hand of God working on your behalf. I know you're going through so much pain right now, but believe you me, God has saved you from more pain than you could ever imagine. I know people who've jumped off bridges for less, who've taken overdose. People don't realize that in the years that I've been a coach and a minister, I have been at bedsides of people who have taken overdoses because of relationships gone wrong. I have seen the worst, the ugly in relationships. And so you are brave to even have the courage to write to me, to look for help, to seek it, to try and find an answer instead of jumping off a bridge or doing something desperate. But I believe it's because God has been protecting you and was touching this man's conscience not to do that. Because once, if you had sex with him, not only would your oxytocin bonded you to him in a way that would have taken you 2 years or more to get over, the fact that he would have been the first to take your virginity in such a dishonorable way would have crushed you as well. So, this guy has been trying to tell you with his actions, but you were not watching. You were not paying attention to the messages that he was trying to send you. So really, with all of this, by the time you chased him into his country, and the fact that you were there and you met 3 times after you'd been, it again was him trying to say, look, you're a special girl, but you're not the one for me. And you chased him, and you got there, and then you put yourself in a situation that you were vulnerable, because you knew in your heart of hearts that this guy was not legitimate, that this guy was not was running away. He'd been pulling away for a long time. And the reason why I say this to you is to empower you, because I think when we go around in life believing we're victims, and it's nicer to have been a victim of a jerk, right? It's so much better for that guy to have been the jerk and I was his poor victim, and everybody can feel sorry for me, and I can tell the next guy I meet about the jerk I met. But I find that it is more empowering for us when we can see our part in it, when we can say, actually, that's where you went wrong, and therefore that's where the lesson is for you. And as long as you can learn the lesson, you can help other people tomorrow who will be making the same mistake, but above all, you will never make that mistake again. And it's empowering because it's about my personal life development journey rather than me being suckered in by some person. So when I make decisions and I accept that they're my decisions, I feel empowered, because I'm like, okay, I made a decision to get myself into a mess. Now I can make another one to get myself out. And when I'm reading here, you've got into that victim state of mind, which all of us would get into. Hands up, put an amen if you would be in the same situation, feeling the same way and wanting to give up as Maggie here. Put an amen in the comment section, right? Do it right now, right? If you would feel like a mug in her situation, of course. But at this point, Maggie, I want to ask you to stop being a victim. You went and found an internship. You are creative. You are you are ingenuous, you are intelligent, you are smart, you're a woman that knows what you want, how to go and get it, step for it, risk for it. So you are not this victim. You are not stuck in this country. You're not this poor victim with no money. What you have, what you're lacking right now is the oomph, the wherewithal to rebuild your life. Now you need to get up. I'm going to give you some tough love, and you need to stack your spine. You need to take your stand, and remember, I have been in situations worse and similar to this, and you know, it's all going to be in my book. So guys, look out for my book. I haven't titled it yet. It's called The Book. But and I might actually publish it as The Book. But you know, you will read some of these stories of my life being at the bottom and feeling like I had no help, and having to pull myself up by my straps and say, look, no one is coming to rescue you, baby. You have to rescue yourself. And if there's any strength in you, an ounce of it, get it, use it, and move your life forward. You had the gumption, the wherewithal to get yourself from Peru to the USA. You were clever. You can get yourself up from this mess. You can shake yourself off, and you can go home to where your family are, your friends are, where you can love them. Or you can stay, finish the internship, and plan your future as to where you're going to go. Because I promise you, something beautiful is going to come of this. Completely, something beautiful is going to come out of this. So life, and for all of us watching, you know, we need to be aware that just because I've had a magic moment with somebody, if the signs, the consistent communication is not there, if the games are there, if it's hot and cold, if it's uncertain, if you feel, this is my personal test. If I feel within myself when I do the work, you want to watch the video on the work that I've done on this channel. If I feel within myself that I am lurching forward towards a man, that I am stepping towards a man, that I am chasing a man, that there's something in me that is reaching out to him and into his reluctance, then I know straight away that I'm in the wrong space. Not only have I stepped into my masculine space, but I have now stepped into danger zone. So whenever you feel yourself lurching forward towards somebody, they're running away from you. Why are they running away? There's something that probably has nothing to do with you, everything to do with you. But what it's telling you is that there is no future here. And boy, oh boy, does it hurt when you have made that emotional investment, when your mind has gone. And this is the thing, and I said in one of my videos, how to get over rejection, is that in reality, on paper, especially for men, they've looked at their actions and they've seen, okay, what would I have done to lead her on to believe that we were going to get married and have kids? But for us women, in our heads, we've married him, we got his babies, we're in love, we're gonna get married and have 100 children. We've gone there. So it's really that vision that kills us when it doesn't end. When something clearly that was a holiday romance doesn't work itself out in the way that we thought it would, we then begin to die. But it's the vision that is dying. It's not the relationship, because there really was no relationship here. And obviously with time, you will today make a decision to forgive, because sometimes we want answers, but they are none. And you can go and watch my video called the myth called closure, because that is such a powerful video, and that will really help you. So I hope you guys have seen how, when we don't control our inner selves, when we don't control the inside part of ourselves, how we can truly find ourselves in a very dangerous and precarious situation, and heartbreaking situation that can lead a normal, intelligent, wonderful woman to a point of breaking down. Okay, so we're not immune to these things, but that's why we watch Chengi's World. That's why we hire a dating coach. That's why we engage in coaching programs, so that we can walk alongside somebody who can tell us from a place of experience how to do things better. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I know this video was particularly long, but I really wanted you to hear the story and get a lesson from it too. Okay, so I will see you guys on my other video. that is coming up soon. I'm looking forward to recording some videos for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Check me out on Instagram and Facebook, and let's hang out and do that thing. Make sure you share these videos to help a friend and invite somebody into a wonderful community. I love you guys. Take care of you.